This is the Northwest Tank Line Super Bowl show coming to you from Radio Row, Mandalay Bay, Las Vegas, Nevada, Super Bowl 58. It's the Kansas City Chiefs taking on the San Francisco 49ers. We got some Canadian content for you, folks. That's right. Little Canadian content. He was born in Brampton, Ontario. He is an outstanding receiver now with the Los Angeles Chargers. The one and only Josh Palmer representing Prince's Pizza, or Prince Street Pizza, I should say. We'll get into that in a second. What's it feel like to talk to the Canadians finally?
I don't know. Canada's in the house. I know I've talking to all these Americans. So
yeah, it's nice to get you here and nice to talk a little bit. You're looking sharp today, man. You got like this, kind of like this tie scarf that matches the shirt from Prince Street Pizza.
Oh, yeah.
You're styling and profiling.
Yeah, I just came back from Istanbul.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was able to get some scarves out there.
All right. So tell us a little bit about Prince Street Pizza.
Well, they're fire, one and only. They have a location in Toronto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one of your reps was
I was just in New York the other day and I had it out there. No, I didn't because the line was so long. But,
come on, man! Don't you have any pull?
Man, I was out there for a night before I flew back out. But they had one in New York and they just had one in LA and they just opened one out here in Vegas. So I'm probably about to hit that up after this, for sure. But nah, they're pretty good. My favorite one is the 4 cheese. The 4 cheese is fire. Cause I'm a big cheese guy.
Really?
Yeah, I'm a big cheese guy.
Okay, I could go with the cheese, right? The one thing that I love my meat, so somehow, somewhere, you got to get meat on there.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing that I just do not put pineapple on pizza, dude.
You don't?
No, that's offside.
It's actually pretty good.
Come on, it's offside. I mean, what's next? Oranges, bananas?
No, I wouldn't get that creative. But the pineapple's good. I don't know, whoever put that on to experiment, they were on.
Do you know one of the things too that's kind of new with pizza? And I know back in Vancouver we got a few people that are doing it. Honey, so just a little drizzle of honey on it. So good.
Yeah, I mean I've never done that one before.
Yeah. So your money pizza's 4 cheese then? Okay.
Yeah. 4 cheese. I'm a big cheese guy.
I could kind of live with that. Hey, talk about this season with the Chargers. It was a tough one. You lose your coach, but man, oh man, talk about optimism going forward. Jim Harbaugh coming in, but first, just talk about the season that was and how difficult it was, I imagine.
It was definitely difficult. We had a lot of injuries. Mike went down. I went down. Justin was battling a finger injury, then eventually went down with his other finger. We were losing a lot of close games. So I wouldn't say it was taking a toll, but it was definitely adding up to the, I guess you could say, stress of not winning, just because we were losing close games that obviously we feel like we should have been winning. And then, just the dominoes fell after that. And, fortunately our coach and GM got released. And now we're back on the come up. So we're excited to see what Coach Harbaugh does and what the new GM does and how we get this show on the road. But
the one thing I think, Josh, and I know the Lions went through this a couple of years ago. They lost all these tight games at the start of the year, and it proved to be a difficult year. And I always think to myself, if you can, especially when you have a new group, a group that doesn't have those reference points, you know what I mean, that have gone on these great runs or won championships or whatever. If you can somehow develop that confidence and that trust in one another early in the season, then you have that reference point. Hey, we've won 2 or 3 tight ball games already. We can win this one here in week 9 or in week 12 or in week 13. But if you don't, and you're always kind of searching for that, there's kind of always that doubt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think, to me, that's the big key. I think a lot of times you see teams that, they'll lose. I mean, I always say that pendulum goes both ways. I said the Vikings this year are going to regress. Why? Because last year they won all those tight games. You're not going to get that fortunate this year. The Vikings regress this year. Conversely, I see teams that if they lose 7 games by a score or less, guess what? I'm going to say this team is going to find a way next year. They're going to add a piece or two. They might get a break or two, and all of a sudden those games start swinging your way. So, if I'm a Charger fan and just looking at it from the outside in, seeing how tight you guys played this year, man, I'm optimistic about the future.
Yeah, I mean our roster is very good. So hopefully we can keep a lot of the core pieces. Like you said, with those tight games, like I said, we knew we could have won those games and that we should have won those games, but it just didn't swing our way. So like you said before, hopefully we get some key pieces that get us over the hump.
One thing that I want to ask you about is Harbaugh. I mean, like, I don't know if you've met him or chatted with him yet, but what's the optimism level with having a guy who's just coming off a national championship and who's won at the NFL level as well?
Mm-hmm. I'm not too sure. I haven't met him formally yet. We've texted I think a couple days after you got the job, but I'm not too sure. I'm just excited to see. I'm excited to see what happens.
Yeah.
I don't have any expectations. So, but I do know that he's coming to win, and we've been here trying to win for a while. So.
Hey, do you got to pinch yourself sometimes? The fact that you're playing in the National Football League, right? I mean, think about that.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Palmer, receiver, Los Angeles Chargers,
mm-hmm.
right? I mean, I know you've been in the league for a while now, but do you ever have that opportunity to kind of step back, reflect, and go, hey, man, this is pretty cool?
Yeah. A lot of the time, I know I'm thankful for the position that I'm in every day I wake up.
Yeah.
So I remind myself where I am. I remind myself where I've been and where I've came from. So, yeah, all the time, and I'm thankful for it.
Yeah, it's interesting because when you talk to a lot of athletes, you're so wound up in the moment. You're always focused on the day.
Sometimes
right?
you forget.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes you forget, like especially when people come up to you. Because I'm so low key. I never really expect people to recognize me outside. So when people see me and want to shake my hand and say, "Oh, you're Joshua Palmer," I'm like, "Oh yeah, I am."
Yeah.
I forgot.
Yeah, and that's so cool because you kind of it's true to who you are, right? But I think there's so many times when I've been around a while, obviously, and I've seen guys come back and talk to teams that they played for, right? And it's always the same thing. It's like, dude, savor the moment because it goes by quick.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
Never forget who you are. Never forget the impact you have on the world.
Yeah. All right, Prince Street Pizza website. You got one?
The website?
Yeah.
Prince Street, and it will pop up.
All right,
Street,
just Google it.
I never really searched it up, but the only time I do search it up is in the maps to see where it's at.
Okay, and your people are bringing us some pizza this afternoon because they have one here in Vegas?
I think so.
Yeah, just no pineapple. No pineapple. Hey, Josh, great stuff. Thanks for stopping by. Continued success with the Chargers, and always a treat catching up with you here at Radio Row.
All right, thank you, guys.